We know them. We love them. It is time for the slow-mo guys, featuring Scott. We get a Scott video. He's with the slow-mo guys, but it's a Scott video.
Bang, 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 bang.
Mm-hmm. So this one get. Actually, this one's gonna be a boom, boom, boom.
Bang, 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 bang.
All right, let's check it out. And here we go.
Hello, I'm Gav.
I'm Dan.
We're the Slow-Mo Guys. You may have noticed, Dan, that whenever we do a video surrounding firearms, every other comment is that we should do a video with Kentucky Ballistics.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and you know what? I refuse.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Here's Scott from Kentucky Ballistics.
I was about to go home. They changed their mind.
You've become pretty well known for blowing up guns on your channel.
Or getting blown up on, yeah.
Yeah, you had a pretty horrendous incident that almost killed you.
A little bit of an oopsie, yeah.
So that's like spawned a series of videos that you've done.
Yes, and now I've turned that, I've taken lemons and turned it into lemonade, yeah.
I like
so now,
Is that the most understated use of the word oopsie?
Oops.
I actually highly recommend checking out the video that you made where you just describe everything that happened. It's one of the gnarliest videos I've ever seen on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
mind-blowing, isn't it?
I cannot believe you survived.
I'm very glad that I did.
Me too, me too.
Yeah. So yeah, what we're doing today is we are going to try to get this gun to detonate. I've kind of developed a fascination with guns blowing up ever since my accident. Today we have an AR-15 and we are going to load it with a spicy round, something that it's not rated for, upwards of 500,000 PSI, and
So we're talking like California Reaper spice.
yeah, higher than that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's very spicy.
It's high on the Scoville, all right.
Yeah.
I'm putting rounds on the Scoville scale.
Yes, Kaizu, it's an all kaboom video. I don't know how many rifles they're gonna kaboom, but this should be interesting.
Just cut away to just shoving chilies at the end.
And just to make sure that we are going to have an explosion today, there is also a obstruction in that barrel.
Okay.
There is a squib, which is a bullet that is lodged in that barrel. And that can happen sometimes when you're shooting. If you had a round that was undercharged, it doesn't even push the round out of the barrel, which is actually really dangerous because if you don't know what's happened and then you fire another round right behind it,
So that could
have a whoopsie.
that could be a real life situation that would cause this to potentially happen.
Exactly.
In real life.
Yeah, it really could happen in real life with a squib. It's happened a lot, actually.
And that kind of really just shows how insane your incident was, in that there wasn't even anything in the barrel.
No, there was no obstruction.
It was just an insane round.
It was a round that was what we've determined was loaded with the wrong gunpowder.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know you've also done some slow-mo. What speeds do you typically shoot at?
I'm kind of ashamed to tell you.
Well, I mean, in fairness, most of our stuff is like 1,000.
I'm filming at about 1,400 frames in 2K, which for you guys that's nothing. So.
Well, especially with this TMX camera. As soon as you said that you were interested in a collab, I was like, I'm not going without this camera because this is going to be good. This is what this camera was made for.
I'm really curious to see what this looks like, because with my slow-mo, it's still just happens so fast that you can't really see what's happening.
The sound you hear is a generator powering the cameras. We're at 1,000 frames a second on the 4K and 82,000 frames a second on the TMX.
This is gonna be good. Okay.
Well, that
Not overly impressive explosion from regular speed. I cannot wait to see what the slow-mo looks like.
worked.
This is called a Kentucky Easter egg hunt. We hunt for gun parts instead of
Easter was different where we grew up.
Yeah, this is quite different.
Oh.
whole front of the gun. Look at that.
Oh.
See, it mostly.
Holy shit, it seared it and bent it. Wow. Yeah, average twos, yeah? Wow. This is, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
Blew out through here, so you can see the like where that bullet disintegrated in there. Part of that probably had to do with it being squibbed as well, if there's an obstruction there.
Yeah, because if
So
it
it
wasn't,
helped
it
to
would have
create
allowed some of
pressure
it
there.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that we still would have had a detonation, but you came a long way to do this, so we're going to make sure it explodes. Bolt face is all deformed.
God damn it.
Oh,
The magazine, I think, has
jeez.
like gone downwards,
And
and,
then
it's
here's-
smashed to the bottom of the
Well, the
magazine
trigger's still full.
against this.
Trigger still works.
Not bad.
What's this? Is this metal?
No, it's
That's
plastic.
plastic. Okay, so that's why that
Now, there was a
shattered.
spring in there, and that's out. You know what I find really interesting about this too?
What's that?
Is I have detonated this exact same gun before, and the fact that it exploded in the exact same way again, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is
no,
cool, very consistent.
Yeah, and that's all this.
I'm guessing that was probably factored into the design of the weapon. Is that in the event of failure, it's going to fail in the exact same way. I have to think that some thought process goes into that during the design of the weapon. Because you have to figure when they're creating a new weapon, you don't think so? Yeah, like you don't think during R&D they don't deliberately explode the weapon like this to see what would happen? I would think that they would. The fact there's the consistency like this. When the failure points aren't deliberate, but they have to, you have to imagine that they, during R&D, they have to test for catastrophic failure to see what happens. They've got to do that during the R&D. Just to cover all their bases. At least I would think so. I mean, who the hell knows? I know nothing about gun manufacturing. I am strictly guessing. But I would expect from a logical standpoint that during R&D they would do some kind of catastrophic failure testing to see how it will happen. Well, no, okay, yeah, okay, Seamus. I think I may have expressed myself incorrectly. They're not designing it to fail in a certain way, but that they design it so that if the failure does happen, like because of its design, it will consistently occur in this, not because of intention, but because of just the design manufacturer. I'm probably not saying this right. I'm kind of tripping over my own tongue here. I'm trying to say something like that.
This like kind of gold color you're seeing, that is from the brass, the actual round just shredding.
It's still in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there's still a round
obviously-
in there.
So there's probably the squib, and then the bullet behind the squib, and then the cartridge case is still there.
Still crammed
So
in
like
there.
the bullet will be somewhere along here, and then the cartridge case is here, and the base of the cartridge case is blown out.
Yep.
It's always so interesting when metal just looks like plastic afterwards.
Yeah.
It's all about the speed.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right, playing back. This is full proper speed. Ping. Instant. Wow. Just instant.
Goodness.
Hey.
Look, the Lexan stopped it from going upwards. And
Yeah,
let
I
it shoot
told you,
forwards.
it's probably just gonna go.
Did you notice the bolt just stayed there? Watch the bolt. The bolt literally just floats right in place.
Ping. Instant. Wow. Just instant.
Like it
look,
bumps
the
a
Lexan
little
stopped
bit, but
it
it
from
kind
going
of just
upwards.
stays
Yeah,
in
I
place.
told you, it's probably just gonna go straight up.
Do you know the sheet behind it really shows you the actual explosion as well? Because it like completely.
Yeah. You can, yeah.
Look at
That
the
is
magazine.
cool.
See the magazine just
Yeah.
burst.
It's always funny to me how sometimes when something explodes like that, some pieces go over here, some pieces go over here, some pieces just sort of go and stay in the same
Yeah.
place and then
Yeah.
just like drop down. It's just like the perfectly equal forces just balancing out and just staying there.
And think about that upper is fairly heavy, and it threw it about like 10, 15 feet
It would have gone
forward.
further if it had not been stopped by the plastic.
Yeah.
And Jameson, I think the reason why is because the explosion forced the bolt backwards into the buffer that's within the stock. So it's shoving, because the explosion is at the head of the bolt, so the bolt is getting thrust backwards by the explosive force, but it's got nowhere else to go, and there's no force, like below it to pivot it up along the rear axis. So it just kind of bumps back against the stock and stays there. So that's probably why the bolt always just kind of barely moves.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, so did the magazine blow apart before it hit? Oh, it did. I thought it smashed on the.
I think the pressure just shot down into the.
Yeah. It was like there was
Wow.
an explosion at the out the breech here, coming out the side, and then there was the smoke, and then more fire coming out down through the magazine.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Let's do that frame by
was
frame.
cool.
So there we go.
That's it starting. See, this is the stuff that you just
Yeah,
never see.
I would never see this
Right.
ever. Okay, so it starts there, and then you can already see it starting to go down.
Yeah, it's leaking out the bottom of the. And then you can
Oh,
see it
yeah.
like.
Okay, who gave Ghost Rider an AR-15? This looks like a transformation you'd see in a firearm if Ghost Rider got his hands on it. Like when he with his bike or with that big piece of construction equipment, it bursts into flames. That's what this looks like. It looks like a Ghost Rider transformation if he got his hands on it. It looks so cool.
Look at the back. That looks amazing.
It's like every little crack is complete. There's a massive explosion just going in every available space inside there.
Just trying to escape.
Yeah, exactly. Finds all the weak
Yeah.
points.
Well, when he used the shotgun in the first Ghost Rider, I don't think that was a good example because it actually changed shape dramatically. But in the second Ghost Rider, when he gets in that huge piece of construction equipment, when he jumps on a truck, it doesn't change shape, but then fire just starts billowing out of every gap it possesses. That's what it looks like here.
Everywhere. And
it's continuing down.
The explosion's already pretty much happened, and the front of the gun still hasn't even moved
Yeah,
yet.
it's still there.
It's just still there. Now it's going to just start slowly moving.
This bit I saved from when it goes to the end of the clip is 57 minutes.
Oh
of
my
footage.
gosh.
It's crazy.
Your dog? That is an excellent question. I'm not sure. My gut feeling, my gut reaction is because it happens so quickly, that it's over and done with so quickly, I don't think it would cook the rounds off. No. It definitely would not be enough to heat the casings up, to heat the powder, and it would not trigger the primer. I don't think it's hot enough to trigger the primer either. So no, my gut feeling is no, it would not cook off or detonate the rounds, any other rounds in the magazine.
It's pretty unbelievable to me that you were filming in 87,000 frames?
Yeah, 82,000. Yeah.
And it's still so fast.
Exactly, like that initial moment, all the stuff of the gun in the air now. This speed is way too slow.
Right.
Because it looks like nothing's moving. The explosion though is still so fast.
It's still so fast.
And the bullet, if a bullet came out, would also be so fast.
Yeah.
We have to do frame by frame for the explosion. But then like this,
Boring.
Yeah, fast forward.
Yeah.
You can watch it multiple times and look out for different stuff, just following the shockwave across the sheet.
Oh
You see it
wow,
moving.
yeah, I see
It's
it.
working its way up.
It's like forcing it against
Wow.
all the
Yeah.
bricks, like sucking it up against it.
Now we're gonna test a different
We have another sacrifice for today's video. This is a Remington bolt-action rifle chambered in 300 Winchester Magnum. So not a small rifle. And again, we are going to load it with something spicy. And
This is going to be interesting because unlike that AR-15, this is a locking bolt. This bolt is locked in place by the bolt tab. So I'm really curious on this one. And Kilter, thank you for the follow. I'm really curious what the bolt's gonna do on this one. Because the bolt is not gonna have any free-flowing movement like it did in the AR-15. It's actually locked in place. That is the one thing that I'm curious about with this one.
see what happens.
So really the explosion's going to happen about here.
Yeah, it'll all be right here. And what'll be interesting to see is if this bolt stays
It
in
might
here
be.
or
It
flies
might be
straight
our
out,
dog.
because I mean it doesn't take much for that to just come right back at the shooter. So that's really the goal with this, is to see how safe it is if it went off when you were shooting it. Now, I've heard lots of stories of guns losing their bolt and it coming back and ending up in your face or in your shoulder.
That's where you put your face when you're aiming, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're right there, so goodbye cheekbone.
So there's going to be more spice in here because it's a larger round, right? So there's going to be more.
Technically, yeah.
More spice.
Yes, you get more powder in that.
You put more
that
chili
shell.
in. Okay.
Yeah, more chili in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit! I looked away. Hang on. I looked away from that. I gotta see it again. Wolf. Wow.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be that big.
Nothing left.
There's a piece.
Oh.
Holy smokes!
Whoa. So wait, it didn't blow the bolt out?
Dude,
it didn't
that's
blow
the bolt.
it out?
Okay.
It's the whole bolt.
It blew.
That's what I was wondering about. That's what I was wondering. The bolt stayed locked into place, and all that pressure in such a tight, confined space created an even more violent explosion. That's awesome. That is just awesome. And yeah, that bolt is fucked.
Blew the actual gun, the physical gun apart.
Yeah, and the bolt
instead.
stayed.
Wow.
Wow, that's really cool.
That's unexpected.
Have you
Dude, the
ever?
bolt shredded though. Look at that. It sheared the lugs off of it.
Wow.
And have you blown one of these before?
Yeah.
You have?
But that wasn't the same.
Different?
That may have been a slightly spicier meatball than before.
Yeah.
You put too much chili in it.
Here's a piece of the mag. Here's the
Wow.
fore end.
Oh God. Where's the barrel?
That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, there it is. It's like
Here's
20
the
feet away.
barrel.
I thought I saw it stuck in your camera.
Holy shit.
Wow.
No, it's still.
Wow.
Bullet didn't come out.
Oh man, it pushed it further down.
So this is the cartridge still in the
Yeah, the cartridge is still in there.
is still there.
Oh,
Like,
can
can you see?
Oh
And
my.
it's done the same thing where it's blown the back of the.
So that's about 20 feet, 25 feet away from the table.
That one seems
Wow.
to go into tinier pieces.
Yeah.
Just looks like a tiny gun now. Just looks like a little pistol.
That's like the that's
It broke off part of the lugs.
That's one of the tough.
So I mean, this one, it makes perfect sense because again, what I was talking about earlier with the bolt being locked into place, it's not free floating like in the AR-15. Well, not free floating per se, but it's not designed to retract or to blow back with each shot. So it trapped all of that explosive pressure. It trapped all of that explosive pressure in the chamber. So you had all that explosion in such, I mean, it's simple thermodynamics. You have all of that pressure suddenly expanding at incredible rates in a tiny confined space. It gotta go somewhere. And it honestly makes perfect sense that this explosion would be far more violent than what we saw with the AR-15. It's still fucking awesome to see though.
toughest parts, like the hardest bits of metal, right? In the
Yeah.
gun, is the bolt.
Yeah, the bolt, that's what's taking all the force. Of,
Yeah, that's the bit
that
that's
round.
designed to do that.
There's another piece of it.
Oh, that's the bottom of the thread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's the underside, I think, is it?
Oh my gosh,
That's
that is.
embedded.
Wow, that was stuck in there deep. That piece of plastic.
What frame rate are we at here?
1,000.
1,000.
Oh, we're not going to see nothing.
Oh, okay.
Already gone.
Playing back.
Oh, flip it! What?
Hang on. Look at the size of that
was,
explosion.
That was pretty big. Something went out the end.
What?
What?
What was
Yeah.
that? Oh, it's just gas. Is that just gas?
Could it have been like just dirt, like dust or something?
I want to say that was like oil, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense because
But nothing came out.
there's still a barrel in.
Snark Monkey, I am originally from America. I was born and raised in America, and then I moved to Canada. So I'm currently in Canada. But I was born and raised in America.
There's still a bullet in the barrel.
Maybe there was just a very tiny gap that allowed some gas past
yeah,
it. Like
that would make
It
sense.
looks like a little squirt gun.
doesn't
Yeah,
it? God, that's so many pieces. That's
I
messed
want to
up.
know what came
That
out of
was
that
violent.
barrel. That looked more substantive than oil coming out. Like what Scott was saying. It could be, but I want to see that on the 82, that on the super high speed.
So this is 100.
The most dangerous creature on the planet. The size of a moose with the huge wings of an eagle. I will fuck your world up.
187,000 frames a second.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
slowing down
Actually-
every second of real time.
I'm posing an awful lot here. 6, isn't that basically a griffin? Isn't that basically a griffin? Kinda, sorta. I mean, granted, the legs are not moose legs, but... Yeah, Kelther, that argument has been made plenty of times before. Believe you me, it has. Yeah, close enough. I'll take it, your dog.
Time to about 2 hours.
So we should see something here.
We should see something.
The anticipation's killing me.
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Holy sh... Hang on, I want to see that again.
The anticipation's killing me.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That was a legit.
And look, this is the bottom. Just disintegrated. The magazine area just literally disintegrated. And fell out. It didn't explode, it just like, it fell out.
Explosion. Look at that. It's like different
It's still
colours in it
going.
as well, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the pieces of the gun in the
Holy
fireball.
shit.
Wow.
Goodness.
Look how
It's still
bright
going.
that still is.
That's a
such a huge...
A literal campfire going on. You could have
Yeah,
roasted
show me the barrel.
marshmallows over that.
Look.
Wow. Yeah, what
Okay,
is that?
that's.
What?
I feel like that's got to be some sort of gun oil.
Is it just like evaporated oil?
Like what? Yeah, what is that that's come out the end? I love that. That's the liquid has come out the
don't
end of
know.
the gun faster than the barrel. The barrel hasn't even started moving yet.
Yeah.
and that's been directly hit by the explosion.
And the squib is still in there.
The barrel
Wow.
is still just sort of there, but
It's just
the rest of
floating.
it, yeah, the rest of it's just gone. That's a floating barrel.
Wow. Just the absolute chaos of that explosion was amazing. Yeah, and Scott likely could be right. It could just be like evaporated oil being forced out of the end in the barrel. You could very well be correct about that. But holy shit. That was impressive.
When it's sped up a little, you can almost see like a pulsing.
Oh, you
like
can.
as the shockwave
Yeah,
hits
you
the
can.
wall and comes back, you see the
Yeah.
flame go like.
Yeah, that happens. I
Again,
saw
those
that.
are really awesome sound effects.
Try and find that somewhere.
You should just use this sound effect. for the-
I'm gonna start using you for my sound effects for my videos.
Yeah, just
I mean, that gas or oil or vapor oil, whatever it was, like that came out. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say it came out about half the speed of how fast the bullet would have traveled, which is still really fucking impressive from a speed perspective. Oh, did they say 415 miles an hour for that gas? Okay, wow.
send me clips and I'll
I'm gonna.
get on the mic.
Yeah, I want to hire you for that.
Wow, there was like green in there as well.
Okay, I missed where they said they clocked it. Wait. Did they measure it? They measured it in miles per hour? As opposed to feet per second? Okay, I was trying to just look at everything. I probably missed them saying it because I was so focused on watching the spectacle. I didn't hear anything that they said. It was just I was hypnotized by the explosion.
You know that thing where they say, "Oh, I want you to dismantle that rifle in 30 seconds."
Okay, Kaiser, have a good night.
How about 0.02 seconds?
About a millisecond.
Yeah.
The only problem here would be
Okay,
reassembling
I
it.
totally missed the label.
I
I
could
like I said, I was
disassemble
watching
one
the
really fast.
explosion.
Really fast, yeah.
That was incredible footage. I've never seen a gun blow up that slow.
Yeah, that was really cool. It gives me a greater appreciation for.
Let me see. I'm gonna I'll back it up to where. What are they doing? Like right about here, where they show the oil coming out.
Look,
Wow. Yeah. What
okay,
is
that's. I feel like
Okay,
that's
yeah.
got to be some sort of.
Okay, I was so focused on trying to identify what the hell this is that I totally missed them putting in the speed here. I was like I was like laser focused on this end trying to see if this was oil or if this was an object. So I completely missed this part. Okay.
dismantle that rifle in 30 seconds? How about 0.02 seconds?
About a millisecond.
Yeah.
The only problem here would be reassembling it.
Ah,
I can disassemble one really fast.
really fast. Yeah.
That was incredible footage.
You can disassemble it once. Really fast. And that's it.
I've never seen a gun blow up that slow.
Yeah, that was really cool. It gives me a greater appreciation for blowing them up like that because like I don't get to see every little detail like that. Like that's crazy.
And when you see the fireball that's like this big, it's just so much potential energy in such a small amount of space.
It just makes that metal just flow with that much energy.
So I feel like you're gonna want to use this camera again one day, do you think?
Yeah. If you guys will come out again, I'd love to have you out again. That's really cool. Or I need to
I would.
make a trip to you.
Yeah. I would,
Yeah, come over to Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I've got a lot of stuff now that I'm thinking like, man, we could do this, we could do that. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
fun
just,
stuff.
it's just like seeing into that next level of speed.
Yeah, it is.
I'd say, you know what? I'm thinking it was a combination of oil and air pressure. So I think it's, I'm getting a suspicion that it was a mixture of the oil and the air pressure, and because of that oil mixture, you were able to see it much more clearly versus it being pure air pressure. Not water vapor. I don't think it was water vapor. That was way too much to be water vapor. But I do think it was a mixture of oil combined with the air pressure, and that oil gave it that high visibility that we saw. So there probably was not that much oil, but when mixed with the air pressure and it was stretched out, the particles in the oil allowed for us to see it so clearly. I don't think it would have forced the air into water vapor. I It's possible. My gut is telling me it's just pure air pressure mixed with the oil. That's what I'm thinking.
It's unbelievable, that camera. Again, I'm gonna go home and just throw away mine. I don't even want it anymore. Just
Well, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Make sure you subscribe to Kentucky Ballistics. There's a link on the screen. And us as well if you want. Dan, any closing thoughts?
I just want to thank you for letting us blow up some guns, really.
Hey,
I
absolutely.
really
It
appreciate
was a
this,
pleasure having you out.
this,
Absolutely.
trip. Yeah.
Thank
and
you
you're
very
welcome
much.
anytime.
Thanks so much.
Anytime, and I'll have your bill.
Invoice? Yeah,
Yeah, I'll invoice you.
I'll forward it to Dan.
That's fucking beautiful.